All right, all right, all right. What's going on? It's your guy Travel Matic, and we are back with another Matic Mondays. If this is your first time joining us, we talk about all things digital nomad, remote working, a little traveling. If you're trying to transfer your skills to become a digital nomad, this is the place that you need to be. Take a moment to subscribe and share the channel. A lot of great tips here, a lot of things you can learn to get to that bag, So, but if this is your returning time, we are back. We are back with another great show. And I have my girl, Tiffany, Sports and Heels. What's good?
How y'all doing? I'm exhausted.
You exhausted?
Yeah, I worked NCAA conference championship this past weekend down in Baton Rouge. Shout out to the Southwestern Athletic Conference, aka the SWAC. Had a great time. This is my first HBCU conference meet and conference championship. So I had a good time. It's nothing like being around a bunch of us. So it was quite the experience. Some great talent in the NCAA ranks, and it was a good time. It was hot. It was rainy. Louisiana, we got to talk about these bugs y'all got that come out flying at night, and these giant cockroaches. I ate good. I sweated a lot. Saw a lot of good talent and met a lot of amazing people. So it was a good time this weekend.
Yes, yes. And if you are seeing this young lady here at the bottom of the screen, she go by the name Global Gal, Miss Alyssa. She is back. She is back with another appearance on Matic Mondays. We appreciate her. The studio audience appreciates her. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. You are a fan favorite. So many people done reached out to me like, who's that little island girl you had on the man, slow down. I had to fight them dudes off. I said, nope, I'm not giving you her number or her Instagram, nothing like that, man. Them boys gonna be in your inbox. So I said I had to fight them off. But I said she's coming back. So they are glad to see you here. And you're actually not just on the island soaking up the sun anymore. You are actually where? Tell the people where you're located right now.
I'm on another island, but in another part of the world. I'm in Sri Lanka.
Oh, wow. Give it up for Sri Lanka. Oh,
yes.
Nice.
It definitely gives Caribbean vibes, but on this side of the world, if that makes sense.
So a lot of our people, may not be familiar with that part of the world. So, and actually, I didn't know Sri Lanka was on an island. So, tell us a little bit about Sri Lanka.
Yes, so Sri Lanka is an island just off the coast of India. And please don't quote me, but I believe at one part it used to be a part of India. Mm-hmm. And then they gained independence. I'm not sure if it's from India or from Britain, but so you will find whenever you visit, or if you do visit, that you can see resemblance in the culture, but they're still different. They still have their own unique culture as well. But it is an island. It is, I would definitely bigger than my island for sure. It has a couple million people. I think it has about 22 million people. Mm-hmm. So a decent amount. But it reminds me a lot of the Caribbean / Ghana.
Okay.
So it's very, very lush, very green. So there's some islands that I've been to that, it's just green, coconut trees everywhere, and that's exactly how it is here. They do have a large Western city. I haven't been in it, but I've driven past it on the outskirts, and you just see the skyscrapers and stuff like that. And I've heard it's just bustling with people. But right now I'm on the South Coast, which is well known for its surfing. So it has people flying in from all over the world just to come to Sri Lanka to surf, which I did not know about. But then if you go to the inner parts of the island, it has mountains, it has waterfalls. It still has some jungle, some wildlife. Like you could go to certain reserves and see jaguars and tigers, elephants. They have elephants here. So it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous country. There's a lot to see. Yep, those are all the beaches, and I like it because it's easy enough for somebody who's a tourist to maneuver around, but it still feels local, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily like the locals aren't present. I just went to this small beach town, and one side of the road, the side of the road that was closest to the beach, had like the cafes and stuff that you definitely could tell were catered to tourists. And then the other side of the street had the stores, the restaurants, the little places that are definitely catered to locals. But it's right next to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And so I like that you walk down the street, certain areas, especially here because I'm right by the coast. There's just a lot of fishermen with their fishing boats, and then there's fish. You can catch fresh fish. It's very tropical. So there's mangoes dropping on my roof all the time. Monkeys climbing about the place. So just very lush green, and yeah, very relaxed, very chill. The people are so nice. Sri Lankans is so nice.
Really?
I get looked at. It's, I guess, obvious that I'm not from here, probably by how I dress, and so they look at you. I find in the countries that I've been to in Asia, everybody looks at you, and I've gotten brave enough now to look back. But when you look back at Sri Lankans, they like stop and smile, and it's a warm smile. It's like oh hi. I was on the bus the other day, and this older lady sat down next to me, and we just looked at each other and smiled. And she came off with her family. And then when she was walking off, she waved at me out the window, and I thought that was so cute and so nice, and just a real just resemblance of, or a show of, just how genuinely nice Sri Lankans are. And I find that I love that kind of stuff.
What's the official language of Sri Lanka?
I want to say it's English and Sinhala, which I'm just gonna look it up right now. Sri Lanka. So what is it? Oh, I don't know. We're gonna have to look that up. Oh, the main languages spoken in Sri Lanka are Tamil and Sinhala. Interesting. Okay.
So, but they speak a lot of English there.
But they speak a lot of English. Majority of people speak English. So when I go to certain places, again, in other countries that I've traveled to in Asia, it's like, okay, no English,
Right.
Maybe if you go in the real touristy areas, but here, more often than not, majority of people speak English. And if not, a bag of English, like, enough that you could get by.
Okay.
Yeah. Hala and Tamil. And Tamil is spoken in India as well, so you can see that connection.
India, yeah.
So you've been in Sri Lanka for how long?
I've been in Sri Lanka for almost a month. In 4 or 5 days, it'll be a month, I think, 30 days.
So you just want to hop around Asia because Sri Lanka is not really on everybody's radar. So you just kind of had a bucket list of places.
Yeah.
So how did you get to Asia? Last time we saw you, for those who remember, she's a returning guest, you were back home, right? For a little bit.
No, I was in Colombia, wasn't it?
No, you were in Colombia. I thought you went back home after Colombia.
I did go back home after Colombia. So I spoke to you when I was back home?
No.
You were going
you
back
were still
home.
in Colombia. You was going back home.
I was going back home. Yes, I was going back home, and I spent 6 months back home because I felt like I didn't know what I was doing. And I needed to just go home and reset a little bit and figure myself out. And it was in that time where I decided Asia was the continent that got away because of COVID. Because I had my ticket booked to Thailand and everything, and it didn't work out because of COVID. So I said, let me still take this opportunity. I'm still traveling. Somehow I'm still making this happen. So let me go to Asia. And my original plan was to move, or I bought a ticket to Thailand, and then I said, let me hop around Thailand a little bit and see if there's anywhere that I like to settle, check out housing, check out prices. But then people kept popping up, to be honest. People kept popping up. So when I got to Thailand, I met one of my friends from Antigua, childhood friend of mine. We've known each other since birth, who was traveling around Asia. We both met in Thailand. Then I met up with another friend of mine two friends of mine that were actually three friends of mine that were in Colombia, all digital nomad travelers. And we all ended up crossing paths in Thailand. Then a cousin of mine said that she wanted to visit Vietnam, and I always had Vietnam on my list. So I said, oh, let me check out Vietnam. Again, using an opportunity to just explore and see, do I like this country or do I like this country? Which one works best? Which vibe am I feeling more? So I spent 6 weeks in Vietnam. Then I had my worlds again collided because I was an au pair. I don't know if I shared it, but when I used to live in Australia, I was an au pair, live-in nanny with an African-American family from New York. Right. And the mom was working an event in Malaysia. And so for her job. And so she was like, hey, I'm going to Malaysia in the beginning of April for work. Do you want to meet me? And I found a great flight price. And so I was like, all right, but I'm coming. And I had originally planned to go to Malaysia because my aunt has a friend of more than 47 years. They met when they were in community college and who lives in Malaysia. So I said I was going to go visit her. So I went to Malaysia for a few days. And then another friend of mine from Antigua who lives in France messaged me out of the blue and said, hey, I'm going to Sri Lanka. I'm going to go visit my friend from university who lives there. I'm going for 2 weeks. And I said, can I crash? Can I come to Sri Lanka with you on your trip and stay with your friend? And Sri Lanka, I'd heard good things about Sri Lanka, and it's not as popular, or I find not as talked about. Everybody talks about Thailand. Everybody talks about Vietnam. But nobody really talks about Sri Lanka, and that really appealed to me. Yeah. And on top of the fact that I also never imagined that I would be touching a country called Sri Lanka in my life. I love it. When it's the most furthest thing from my mind and I have the opportunity to do it, I'm more like, I should go because I never dreamed of this happening. And then it just lined up where my friend would have a place where we could stay. And it was also Sri Lanka New Year. Anyways, and I found a really cheap ticket. I'm telling y'all, from Vietnam to Malaysia to Sri Lanka, I paid $150 without a check back. But that's what I told her too. I said, let me check into the prices because if the price can work, I'm going to do it. Now, my check bag was the cost of a whole other flight. It seemed like it was like another $100. But still, I was like, you know what? This isn't bad for two countries. So that's kind of how I ended up in Sri Lanka. And then she left and the price was right. I found a very nice, or a very nice for me, 2-bedroom place. And it's in a house, or the owners live in the house right next door to it. So it shares a yard. Sweetest people ever. They make sure whatever issues I may or may not have had, I swear they would move the mango tree if I told them like the mango dropping on my roof, not every night, but sometimes in the evenings I get a knock and they're there bringing me a plate of food, or in the mornings they're bringing me breakfast just because the wife cooked extra and she wants to, give. They're just nice people like that, So it's been an amazing space to just relax because I've been going, packing up, moving, So I have my own space. And I was able to just sit and focus on these projects that I have working on for my brand Global Gyal, and then plotting my next adventures. So in general, Asia, the original intent, and I'm like, okay, let's get to the point. So the original intent was to move to a country and stay for a year or as close to a year as possible. But opportunities have just been coming up with different people who I never really expect to hang out with in Asia. And I've just been saying yes. and going. And so it's 3 months in, and I've been to 4 countries, and I have a few more planned. And Sri Lanka is one that I'm very seriously considering spending an extra length of time in. I don't know how to describe it, but there's some things that I look for, or it's also a feeling, and I'm
Yeah.
getting a good feeling of staying here for a little while. So we'll see.
I think you mentioned that, first of all, great breakdown of how you got to where you are. So we appreciate that. I think when I hear you talk about, first of all, your face lights up when you talk about Sri Lanka. And I think it's because of this familiarity of it feeling like home. I think that
so.
aspect, and it was unexpected for you. I think it was a surprise that it would feel so homely and you feel a connection there. So it wouldn't surprise me if you spent a significant amount of time there because it feels so familiar to you.
Yes, that is so true, and it's interesting that you picked that up. It does feel so familiar, but at the same time, so different.
Yes.
And I think for living, packing up your whole life and moving somewhere, it's nice to have that familiarity.
Yes.
So yeah, when I walk outside, it is hot. It might be even hotter than the Caribbean, but the trees look the same, the roads look the same, if not better. Um, Everybody is my complexion or darker, so I don't feel like I stand out. But
Yeah.
then when I go to have a conversation, I know, or when I'm walking on the street, I know everybody's looking at me, or, I know that I can't speak the language. But then when I go and get the food is a bit different, but it's still similar. They eat a lot of curry here, but it's rice and curry. And I'm like, I know curry. I could do curry.
Yeah.
Whereas the food in the other countries, it wasn't as, I don't know, it just wasn't, I wasn't loving
It
it
didn't have
as
that.
much
It didn't
as
have that thing.
Yes, yes,
When you
yes, yes.
grew up
And
with
I'm
that thing,
realizing
you
that
can't go
food
somewhere
is,
else and just, yeah, it's definitely different.
yeah, food is important. If I don't
Yeah.
enjoy the food, then I'm like, I don't know if I can stay here. And
Yeah.
I didn't realize how important food is, but it is. So I'm waiting on one other country. And if that other country doesn't pull through, then Sri Lanka is.
Nice, nice. Let's talk about. Let's back up a little bit. You talked about the accommodations. I've heard Asia is pretty cheap. Let's say inexpensive for accommodations. How much are you typically paying for your room and board?
So it really depends. I am balling on a budget, so I do my best to find the most affordable. And I'm pretty sure if I dig hard, I can find better prices. But for instance, in Thailand, in a place called Chiang Mai, I spent either $11 or $13 a night, US dollars a night, on a room for 2 to 3 weeks. It was just it's like a budget hotel room essentially, but it had its own bathroom and bed, no kitchen, anything like that. However, I had a friend who just across the street was staying in a very nice boutique hotel, and she paid about 35 US dollars for her room. And I know for a fact if I was in the Caribbean, people will be start to pay from like $200 for a room like that,
Yeah.
Um,
That's easy.
and yeah. So the prices vary, and I'm a very big Airbnb person as well. So in Vietnam, I paid, I would say, yeah, $17, $18. Again, it was just basically a studio space, and that one had a little kitchen that was in Da Nang. And then my friend and I, we split a 2 bedroom, which was pretty decent actually. But it was a little bit out the city, and I don't know, we paid maybe 135 US dollars each for like 2 weeks. In another place, we went into a hotel, my cousin and I, 4 nights. We split $100 between the two of us, so that might have been 25 US dollars a night for 2 beds. So it's really, I would say, goes between, you can find stuff for $12, $13, maybe basic starting and then work your way up. But you can get some nice places for under $100. Like if you want to spend $100, you will get something quite nice for it. So your money goes a lot further for sure with accommodations. And in Sri Lanka, I found that as well, which is also why I'm like, okay, maybe I'm gonna stay here.
Right. And I saw something the other day.
While you're looking for it too, I forgot to mention, right now I'm in this small 2-bedroom cottage, and I negotiated the price, but because I was staying for 2.5 weeks, I think I negotiated to about $12 a night. So if I was splitting it with somebody who would have had their own bedroom, it would have been $6 a night for each of us,
Did you say 6?
If I had somebody else sharing the space, we would have split it, and it would have been $6 each, because I got it for $12 a night, a 2-bedroom.
What?
Yeah.
Yep.
Insane.
Nice.
Insane.
Yeah, but again, it was negotiated. I think normally he said it, or when I checked on Airbnb, it's about $22 a night. So still, it's like $11.
Yeah, I mean, 20. I was thought I hit the lottery with $20 a night. So getting it down to 12. Good job.
Thank you.
Yes. And the excursions. I saw you on this excursion here. Let me play it right quick.
Tea estate here in Sri Lanka. Now I know y'all might be thinking, who wants to come and learn about tea? But this one have a story. And as soon as we rocked up, our guide Patty was there ready and waiting to tell us. Now this tea estate is owned by a Sri Lankan family and is well known for its virgin white tea. I know I never heard about it before this time either, but we're gonna learn today. Before we got into more details about the white tea and the black tea and the oolong tea and everything, our guide showed us some other plants and herbs that they had on site, like lemongrass. Now I'm not new to this. I was still sniffing it up like it was. Next was black pepper. Did y'all know black pepper grew on a tree? Why don't we have this in the Caribbean? Or at least I'm not aware. There was vanilla that he showed us, and cinnamon. You have to crush up the leaf and then you can smell it, and it was strong, boy. It smelled like porridge. Then after that, we started to get into the details of the tea and how important it is to Sri Lanka's history. From China by the British in the 1800s. What once started as an experiment expanded to at one point Sri Lanka being the largest tea exporter in the world. Now our tour guide explained how this tea estate is unique because one of the few places that produces virgin white tea, which is when this part of the plant is cut with scissors and not touched by hand. Literally, the cutters wear gloves and everything. Now, this leaf from this plant is used for black tea. Then the new growth is actually used for oolong tea. And then the top part here before it has unfolded is used for white tea, but it has to come from the white tea plant. This tea estate or plantation is over 200 acres, with a different variety of teas planted all over. And fun fact, did you know tea needs shade? So they plant the big trees and then they plant the little trees to give it shade. These are some baby tea trees that are going to grow, and in 2 years they'll become this. Now these darker ones are actually the white tea trees. So these ones are the ones where when the part that hasn't unfolded yet gets cut, then goes to the delicate manufacturing process. White tea is supposed to be good for everything. It's supposed to be high in antioxidants and all kind of thing. At this point, we walked up to this area where you got to try some of the tea grown on the estate, and look how it's set up so nice. We got to try the oolong tea. Remember, that's from the little new growth leaves. And they also gave us a list of the different teas that tell you what's good for you, what's in them, all that kind of thing, the different blends and the story of the estate itself. And we also got cake. I love a chocolate cake. Then if you're lucky, the tour guide brings you on the domesticated mongoose. You're all a mongoose, the man a hole now. A mongoose me a hole. I was smiling but also thinking, and this my mother sent me all the way to Sri Lanka for good. The funniest part is that the mongoose actually hangs out with the dog. It even starts scratching itself like a dog and cleaning itself like a dog too. I was like, what is happening here? This though is our tour guide showing us a rubber tree. I'm not sure if I've ever seen one of these so up close in person, and he took off a piece and showed us the rubber. Now this is rubber like rubber bands, rubber like tire. It's all natural. Next we went this section, which had traditional cinnamon peeling. Y'all, there's a man who sits down here and who is dedicated to peeling the cinnamon in different shapes, forms, sizes. There's a technique, so not any and everybody can be doing this. The amount of work on a chicken here, jerk. We then moved on to the processing section of things. This is where the leaves are dried, and then they put into this super old machine to like toss them around and sort them out and all kind of stuff. They turn on the machine machines to show us how it goes. They describe this section as a living museum because a lot of these machines are over 100 years old, brought over from England, and are still in use to this day. At this point, the leaves have been dried and burnt and sorted and all kind of things. And then this is the good leaves, which are then put into this machine, which isn't as old, and it's actually sorted by colors. I was amazed. Now we get to the good section. This is the store, but it also has samples of all of the tea varieties that they offer here on the estate. Now, who knew there could be so much varieties of teas? Raise your hand, because it's surely not me. Now, we were actually allowed to try the prized virgin white tea. And you know me in that it tastes like water with a hint of tea. Yeah, to be honest, it was a very light taste. But look at the price difference. This is the price for a Ceylon tea, and this is the price for a small box of the white tea. They had a guest visitors book that you could sign, and of course, I had to print my name and print that I come from the West Indies. Let them know you all. Whenever I tell somebody I'm from the West Indies, I get these looks of thank you to all West Indies. That brought us to the end of our tour. We did a little shopping. I actually bought a box of tea to gift to one of my followers. I just have to figure out how I'm going to do that. But thanks for joining me on this Sri Lankan tea adventure. You all, I did not think that I would have such a good time learning about tea and a tea estate. So if you're in Sri Lanka, definitely check one of these things out. Also, thank you to Angie and Denise, two ladies that I met here, for inviting me on this experience. Stay tuned for the next video. Come, let me take.
Awesome,
Alyssa,
awesome.
Alyssa, I love your content delivery style. I just love it. I mean, the accent, of course, is the icing on the cake, right? Because it really is this West Indian, Caribbean girl next door that's kind of, you know, global gallant across the world, which is super, you know, super unique, super cute idea. But what I like about content creators like you and Adrian, how you deliver content is it's not just about look how beautiful this place is or look how cool this excursion is. It really is a history lesson. It's some knowledge dropped in there. And you know, it's kind of like having a conversation. You're having a conversation with your listener, your audience, where you're talking about this cool place you went to that was, you know, kind of unexpected. And it's really easy. You have a very easy delivery about it. And it's very authentic. And we, in this age of social media and how travel, you know, Travelmatic and myself had a show about how travel can be a negative impact in some ways and how social media can really just skew the audience's view of travel. And it's creators like you and delivery like this that kind of remind us why we should be traveling, right? The things that we get to experience with, you know, you showing the rubber tree and the different way the trees, the teas are made and how they're going through the process. I mean, you're really detailed, but also the delivery is not boring. It's very interesting and it's really, really cool. So keep up the good work, man. You're doing an awesome job.
Thank you. That means so much to me. You just summarized it, and I think that's a goal of mine. I want people to learn. Travel for me is about learning and learning different things about the norm of what you're accustomed to. So I know not everybody can come to Sri Lanka and go to this tea plantation. So I'm going to try to intake as much information as I can for that and then share it with others. And to be honest, sometimes I pay more attention because I'm like, oh, I have to remember this to make sure that I share it. And it's also great note taking for me because I'm going to forget this information soon. But when I look back at these videos, I'm like, oh, but again, I just love learning. So it's fascinating for me to know I've never seen a rubber tree or that before. And I'm like, if I don't know, maybe other people don't know. So I appreciate it. I feel as though I've stumbled into this technique, I guess, of sharing my content. It's something that I started doing late last year when I was home and I wasn't sure what I was doing. And so I kind of started to do that. And I found that a lot of people gravitated towards it. So yeah. Because before I would have been so self-conscious about my accent. Can people understand? Am I talking too fast? Or just little things like that. But in this day and age, especially where, you know, it's a short content, you got to keep people's attention. You got to, and in this way, I am so being myself. It makes it so much easier because before I wasn't sure, how do I do this? How do I talk? How do I portray myself? But this is just like, I just need to be me and and people will like that and it appeals to others. Anyway, thank you so much for that.
Right. And tell the people how much you paid for that excursion, that whole excursion.
That excursion, okay, so just for the tour was $2. I
Wow.
could not believe that myself because that also included the cup of tea and the cake.
Wow.
So when my neighbor who rents the other apartment in this complex, she's been here for a couple of months and she's had family and friends come and visit, so she knew about it, so she invited me. And I was gonna say no because I was like, oh gosh, it's probably gonna be, 30, 40, $50 or something. But she was like, it's $2 and there's cake and tea. I said, what? I can go somewhere for $2. It probably costs more. It did cost more to get transportation. So it was about 45 minutes away. And when I look back at how much it cost, that transport was like $8 on a tuk-tuk. So that's just one way. And it was three of us though. So that's $8 one way split between three people. And
Yeah.
then you can tip however much you'd like to tip. And then to be honest, I feel like that estate, they make their money from selling the teas. So I bought two things of teas and I spent about $20, but the little box of the virgin white tea was probably $35, $30.
Wow.
They're making their money somewhere, but definitely I couldn't believe that excursion exists for that price. One thing I have found though is that in in Asia, if you're doing an excursion, the prices average between 30 to $40, which depending on what you're doing, or a lot of those ones that are that price are all day stuff. It's like you're driving 2 hours out to go on a boat, lunch is included, maybe like water, and then your tour guide, all that kind of stuff, and then you're coming back. Or this other boat trip that I did to the PP Islands in Thailand, where you get on this boat and they take you to a few different stops. You get your lunch, you get your water, you get your snacks, the tour guide, everything. Again, it was like $35. However, all of these excursions are also very touristy and
Yeah.
very popular. So
Yeah.
it's that price because you're going on a bus with like 25 other people, and then there are 50 buses walking up to the same place at the same time. And yeah, so you can pay more to get the private experience. When I say more, it's like 80 to 150 maybe, US dollars to get a bit more private, or just take you to places that are less popular. But it doesn't have to be a ridiculous amount. You spend more, I don't know, buying two things at the grocery store.
Yeah.
So this experience definitely unique. And it's now reminding me that I was supposed to post another experience that I did in Sri Lanka. It was of a weaving mill, and we got a tour and stuff, and the tour is free. It's free. The owner comes and he takes you around. He shows you, the ladies dyeing cotton and then making it using those traditional machines to actually weave these beautiful fabrics. And
Mm.
again, when you go into the store, they have a store on site,
Mm-hmm.
and more often than not, you're gonna buy something, and so those prices probably make up for the tour. But that tour
Mm-hmm.
was free, and I was like, what? But again, good marketing. And that place was no more than 20 minutes away from where I am. So,
Nice. That's very similar to the weavers in Guatemala. Um,
yes.
they in Lake Atilan, they do the little weavers and got the little store. Once you come out,
Hmm.
and you can
Hmm.
get like blankets, shawls, hats, all that stuff.
Everything. It's interesting that you say that because I didn't go in Ghana, but I feel like I heard somebody describe it to me, and it sounded like the same technique. So it's just interesting that all these cultures from all different parts of the world use almost the same mechanisms. The hand and the feet and the clamping it down in this wooden
Mm-hmm. It's
thing.
like a little bar, and they keep going down. There's all these
Hmm.
little threads, you know.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's so similar, if not the same technique, but it's all over the world.
Right.
I love hearing that because on the social media they talk a lot about how foods are called different things in different parts of the world, especially when it comes to Caribbean and African. It's pretty much the same food, just different names. And the reason why I love that is because it for me, it shows how connected we are to one another throughout generations. All the infighting that kind of happens along the way, we're still all connected by these similar threads in different aspects of our cultures, right? And that to me is a very unifying feeling. It makes me feel hopeful that there's something that no matter what the world tries to do to us or do to people or humanity, there's always these threads that connect us to one another. Yeah.
And the Caribbean too is, I don't know if to say unique, but I'm gonna use that word as well, because it was almost the colonizers took a little bit of everything from the different places that they went and brought it to the Caribbean. So we have cinnamon and nutmeg, like it grows, it's in our food, but that doesn't come from the Caribbean. That comes from maybe India. Breadfruit, different stuff like that comes from like the Philippines. So a lot of the foods and fruits and whatnot that are now just staple in the Caribbean were picked from this side of the world. So I feel as though the threads that are woven in our blanket are from different places in the world, and then we've woven it to create our own, in a sense. So it is very, very interesting when it comes to that, and even just through history, like curries at certain places you get in roti and it's called the same thing. My friend, her mother's Guyanese, and she'd be walking on the street and seeing different snacks. And she's like, we have this in Guyana. We make the same thing. It looks like the same thing. Like you said, it's just called something different, but it's the same thing here in Sri Lanka. And it's just because of the Indian influence. Anyways, love it.
Let's go back to you was in Vietnam. I'm actually looking for something. I don't know if you hit it or you just didn't want to put it on your page, because I know it was
I know what you're talking about.
It was a moment that was just not of you, and I know you just wanted to get rid of it, just be done with it.
Tell me what it is, and I will tell you. Come on now.
You don't have it. I've been looking. That's what I've been looking for. This young lady got a haircut in Vietnam. And I'm telling you, you remember Gordon Gortrell? She got a Gordon Gortrell cut.
Lisa, you hide it?
I'm not hiding it. Let me tell y'all, right? I have so much content. I'm looking directly in this camera. I have so much content. So many things that I have not shared from so many places. It's so much. For me, it gets overwhelming. It gets overwhelming how much stuff I have on my phone that I need to edit and release. And so to the point where like I don't even put it in my stories sometimes. But sometimes I'm like, okay, listen, you need to keep your stories active. I just look through what I have and I'm like, okay, this was a funny story. And so that's what I did when I shared the story of the haircut. But I have the content to make the video, and I'm going to be so honest. But to give context, walking on the street with my friend, it's 5 days before my birthday. And previously I had said, oh, I need to get a haircut. We're walking on the street, trying to even cross the street because it's a big highway to get our Uber. And we see these people cutting hair on the side of the street. And turns out we find out it's like a school, like a street barber school. And so I was like, oh, how much? And first of all, they're taken aback because two Black girls like asking how much. They're like, it's free. And I was like, it's free?
That's what you should have ran. You should have
just. She said it's the school on the side of the road. I'm like, Alyssa.
Let me tell you, I'm not new to this. When I was in New Zealand, I went to a barber school to cut my hair because it was like 10 New Zealand dollars versus going to the thing. Anyways, it was free. It was a school. One student alone knew English. Okay. And in my head, my thought process was, okay, I know numbers. I feel like it's a universal language. the numbers of the gods. I know for me to get a haircut that I like, I need cut number 3. So we're talking to the only one who knows English, and he was like, "Oh, do you want to fade? Do you want to fade?" I'm like, "No, I just want it all the same." The thoughts that are coming through my mind: one, I know it's a school. I know it's not going to be the best thing in the world. I know it's not going to be the perfect haircut. 2, when else is this student going to get an opportunity to practice on somebody's hair that has any little bit of curl in it? You know? So in my head, I was like, I'm doing it for the lesson. I'm doing it for him. I'm doing it to give him this experience of working with somebody with my type of hair. I have, when it's like this, it's fine hair and whatnot. But I was like, no, and the person's going to be sitting in this man's chair. So I'm doing it for the next black person. You know, if another black person comes and sit on the chair, it won't be the first person to cut.
Yeah, she was the guinea pig.
I was the guinea pig. And let me tell you where I made the mistake. I made the mistake.
You made the mistake when you walked up, but go ahead.
Yeah. That's true. I made the mistake by agreeing to the fade. First of all, I should have just said keep it all one level. Keep it all one level. But I agreed to the fade because again, I was like, you know what, let him practice his fade. Girl.
That's not the teeth suck. Oh shit, she did the West Indian teeth suck.
He did practice. He got some practice in. He got some practice in.
He did. But I will say this. It wasn't him alone. I had a part to play because I know myself. I've been cutting my hair for years. I've been going to a barber to cut my hair for years. And I know that I like my hair. When I go to the barber, I'm going to come out looking like, you know, a naked mole rat. But that's okay. Because in 5 days, it's going to grow to the exact length that I want. And it's going to look fantastic. I'm going to rock it. And it's going to look amazing. A lot of men go to the barber so that they come out looking fresh on the first day. No. I look messed up, jacked up. And my barber's always like, you want it this low? And I'm like, yeah, give me this low. Because I know. So he wanted to leave it a little bit more on the top. And I was like, nope, cut it down. So here's the other thing too. I thought I'll be safe with a number 3. The boy who knows English tell me we don't do numbers. I don't know what number 3 means. We do millimeters or something like that. I'm like, I don't know what a number 3 like thing is. I don't know. Anyways, let me see if I can show you. Let me tell you, all right.
It took me back to this right here. Like I
did not look like that. It's about 15 Vietnamese.
Adrian, you a nut.
15 Vietnamese students flocking us. Literally, I felt like I was in a rap battle or something. But
I said, hold up, man. Like, hold up.
But
I
then
said,
man,
this...
afterwards, it wasn't. What did I delete? I could not have deleted stuff. I have it.
You have it?
Adrian, you saw the video.
I saw it was on her stories. And I'm looking, I'm like,
so this is
she did all of that.
And they all standing around watching.
Yes, because they're trying to learn. And the instructor just was not having it.
I'm telling you, it was just like Coming to America. Like she like because like maybe he was like
So he started off good, different. And I
think he started off good. He was very gentle.
He was, he knew, and the thing was too, when the main guy the one who knew English, turned around and asked like, who wants to do her hair? Silence. Nobody wanted to do it. Everybody was too scared, and then eventually he was like, all right, I'll do it. So I was like, bet, you're taking the risk. So that's like not halfway through. It took about 45 minutes to do too. And he wanted to leave the top. I'm telling y'all, he wanted to leave the top. But I was like, nah, take it low.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Gave her a straight
exactly.
I said, you need to put this. I said, you need to go with this. You need to run with this one because This one,
Oh,
but the size was off. Like it was like how
So this is it from afar. If you want to see how this fade look, oh my gosh. Look at it.
They got one side.
Yeah,
like he had a line up nice, but it was just
it's a significant drop off.
Yes, the fade faded away. There was no fade. There was no fading at all. There was no fading at all. I was just not.
I don't mean to laugh so hard, but goodness, Alyssa, she said, "What is this?" Oh,
I didn't think it was bad as it was until when I was recording this whole thing. I was like, this is not good. This is not good at all.
I sent this to my boy. I said, man, look at this right here, boy. they got my girl good in Vietnam, man. I said,
let me tell y'all two things, right? Okay, I don't normally share my personal / dating life, but I will for this. I went on a date that same night.
Oh no!
You went on a date.
Hear me out. In his bio, he was like, he loves girls with short hair. Why did I could tell he loved my haircut.
Shut up.
And that confirmed for me there's somebody out there for everybody.
Yes,
there's
it
somebody
is.
out there for you think that your
was
hair not looking great.
Was this a Vietnam boy or
no, it wasn't. It was somebody from overseas. And you know, you can tell when somebody's lying, you can tell when somebody's genuine. Nah, he was like, I wanted to say, because I was telling him about the story, and he's like, I've been wanting to tell you since you walked through. Your haircut looks so good. I'm telling you, it was a genuine thing.
He just genuinely like to get in them draws now.
Anyways, let me show y'all.
Anybody, there's somebody out there. You're somebody's fantasy girl, just as you are. Or you're somebody's fantasy guy, just as you are, y'all.
There we go. So please don't make. Let me show you my hair. This is it. 5 days later.
Oh, okay. Let me see. Okay.
Let me see. I don't know if I scroll to the side.
The lineup is nice. It's just that fade. That fade was just nasty. Yeah. That was just nasty work.
The fade was nasty. Let me see.
That was nasty work on that fade.
Okay, we're zooming in.
Okay, it's coming in. It's coming back.
It's coming back. It looks like a different style. Somebody told me it looked like
The moral of the story is everything gets better with time. So
amen to that. Amen to that.
Yes.
They said how people dress, I guess the gender roles.
Mm-hmm.
Women start to get men haircuts and men start to get women haircuts and whatever it is, like it's giving modern type of thing. I was like, thank you. But this is it. This is it. How many? A month and a half later, it's.
So you have not had your hair cut since that time?
I have not.
Oh, that's it. It was just the fade. Like if it grows,
it was just a fade. But I knew within 7 days that fade would fade away. The lack of the fade would fade away, and also I like to get it cut that short because I know I wouldn't have to go back to the barber for another 2-3 months. I'm not gonna have to worry about any of that.
Well, and also you're part of the world where nobody gonna clown you either about your haircut. They might look, but they're not really gonna clown you about your haircut. True. So it's not like 7 unbearable days. It's really just you looking at your head and saying, my hair is fucked up for 7 days.
Yeah, exactly. And then when it goes out, it's like boom.
It never happened.
And let me tell y'all, ain't nothing a do-rag, moisturizer, and water can't do for my hair.
I know that's right.
Yeah, you got that good engine there. What's next?
One important. Okay. Oh, sorry, if I may. One important part of this is I did this for the plot. My friend literally, because I was hesitant. My friend literally turned to me and she said, "Why not? You said you wanted to get your hair cut, And two, when else are you gonna get your hair cut on the side of the road in Vietnam? And I was like, girl, you right. I need to do it for the story. And I did it for the
She
story.
set you up. She set you up. Your Alyssa homegirl, you set her up. You set her up. She was about to walk away. She's listening to her in Alyssa, like, nah, this might not be a good idea. And you set her up. You set her up. Great story, though.
And I was like, she's the one with sense. She's the one with sense. So if she's saying that, then of course I gotta do it. Anyway, sorry, Travelmatic.
Oh no, you good. So what's next for Global Gal?
Global Gal, country-wise?
Country, excursions, plans.
All right, let me give you my plans. So 2 major things have popped off. I've launched in the last 2 weeks, actually. The first one is I am hosting my first official group trip.
That's major. That's major. Oh, the studio audience love that. Tell us more.
Yes, it is to Thailand. It is for November 22nd to 28th, which is Thanksgiving weekend for Americans. So forget about cooking the turkey. Forget about everything. Instead of buying a ticket to home, buy your ticket to come to Thailand, join me and my crew. What's also, before I go into like a little bit of the details, I was rewatching one of my videos from Ghana, which would have been 2 years old, 2 to 3 years old. And I was taking my family around when they were visiting. And literally in this one video I decided to rewatch, I said, you know, I'm really tired at this point, but this is me practicing for when, you know, I host my own group tour.
Yeah.
And you know, and then I was watching it and saying that just as I finished launching this, and I was like, wow, look at me 2-3 years later actually hosting my first group trip. And so I just felt a little, you know, a little pride, a little like you did it type of thing.
Yeah.
So it's not easy, but yeah, I'm very happy that I've gotten to this point. People have suggested it and stuff like that, but now just a lot of different pieces of the puzzle have come together, so I've been able to do this. So it's to Thailand. We're going to 2 cities, not 1, 2. We're going to Bangkok and we're going to Chiang Mai. And I love my belly, so a lot of the things that are in this thing are food stuff. There's going to be a street market, like 2 night markets, I think. A tuk-tuk tour. Y'all know what a tuk-tuk is, the little bikes. We're going to do a tuk-tuk street tour, street food tour. We're going to do a floating market. Going to go to a floating market as well and see more food and try more food. Then we're going to we're going to do a cooking class as well.
That's
and
awesome.
Another thing that I really love about this itinerary is I actually haven't done a lot of these experiences. Like I did a lot when I was in Thailand, but I didn't do everything. And I'm very happy that I didn't do everything because I didn't do majority of these things on here. So it's going to be a new experience for me as well as for everybody who comes on this excursion. Then we're going to take an overnight train. And this is new to me as well. I've never done an overnight train. It is 14 hours, but it's going to be an experience. So whoever's coming, we got to have an open mind for a 14-hour overnight train where they will transform your beds into like a sleeper bed and stuff like that. And then we get to Chiang Mai, which is in the north. It's a lot less city. It's still city, but a lot smaller. That's where we're going to do another night market. We're going to go to like some of the villages in northern Thailand, learn about their culture. And then we're going to visit an elephant sanctuary, which is quite ethical in how they do things. So we will be getting to learn more about the elephants and their daily lives and like their story, but it won't be something where we feed them and ride them because that's not ethical and safe for the elephants. So it includes your accommodation. It includes, let me tell you all that it includes. It's 7 days, maximum 24 people. So it's a good group size. It includes 6 breakfasts, 3 lunches, and 5 dinners. Then 2 cities, 6 activities, and we have a local guide. So there's going to be somebody locally from Thailand who knows about everywhere where we're going, who's going to be with us along for the whole time. And so, yeah, your accommodation is included, your double occupancy in 4-star hotels, your local guide, your city transfers. What it doesn't include is your flight and your visa and other little things like that. But I was offering early bird pricing, so it was $1,995, but it was for the first 8 people who booked. So I'm happy to also say that I believe it's been 1 week, maybe a week and a half since I've launched, and I have sold, or about 11 people have booked so far.
That's awesome. Congratulations, Alyssa. Congratulations.
That is
so
awesome.
much.
Awesome. Oh, yeah.
So I'm ask a few questions about this because I just did my first group trip like this last year when I went to Colombia.
Ooh, how was that? Where did you go?
Cali, Colombia for Petronio Festival. So it was my first time going to Colombia, first time at a Colombia music festival, and my first like group trip with like this, where you're kind of like meeting people there. So I didn't think I would like it. I didn't think I would. I'm a solo traveler, so I didn't think I would like the whole group trip. You know, I've done trips with my friends and family, but definitely not on this scale. And I loved it. I really did love it. So I'm like, okay, I'm interested in adding one of those a year, maybe. To my, to my travel itinerary for the year. So is this for open to men and women, or is yours,
oh boy,
traveler? So I like to kind of ask that because I've not done the inter, I haven't done.
No, males are not invited.
It's open to male and female. It's open to male and female. However, when so a lot of my family likes to come. So in all the places that I've been to before, my family has come to visit. And so like I have uncles, cousins and stuff like that. So I want to make it open. However, you'll never bunk with somebody of the opposite gender.
Okay.
You know, if you're splitting a room, they make sure that they assign the rooms according to your gender. So it'll be 2 women, or if it's uneven, each person will get their own separate room type of thing. So it is open to both.
That's good. That's good. Give it up for Global Guy for making the Black community together, bringing us together, and separating us.
If men want trips, all they gotta do is plan them. The women are the ones planning the women-only trip. So if men want trips,
we want to, we want to go with the ladies. Y'all have great, trips planned, great itineraries, and y'all just be like, gas only.
Yeah,
only.
Exactly. Alyssa, tell
now. Yeah, now you put platinum in my mind, so I gotta work that in. I have so many ideas for my trips, so many ideas. So that could be one. But no, this one is open for both men and women, so definitely everybody's welcome.
That's nice. I love that. Yes, we are better together. Okay, so I want to throw you in the hot seat for one moment. But first, make sure you follow her on Instagram, YouTube,
TikTok, Facebook.
You can easily get to her by going to her Instagram, and she has her link tree right here in the bio. She will include. She has her Thailand trip we just talked about for November. She also has the guides. I took the liberty of buying a guide today.
You did? Oh my gosh, thank you.
I would love to support you. I want to go to Antigua, Barbuda, hopefully this year.
I appreciate that. Yes.
So,
when you go, let me know.
So definitely go in here and get her guides. I think you have other places. You have the Carnival guide too for Antigua, and you have you can just go into it here right quick.
I have the Antigua guide, so that's if you're going outside of Carnival, and then I have one specifically dedicated to Carnival because that's a whole other
Yes,
other
and they're
places.
on sale. I had to catch the sale. They're on sale.
Yes. So I
$35.
launched them. So that's another big thing that I've been using for this downtime, literally every day from my laptop, piecing this stuff together because the guides are. So I'm born and raised in Antigua and Barbuda from the Caribbean. And I've wanted to do these travel guides for the different places that I've lived in, but I wanted to start with Antigua and Barbuda first. So it's essentially a one-stop shop full of my personal recommendations. I'm not going to say that everybody in Antigua agrees that these are the things to do, but I know what I like, and I feel like I know what other travelers would like to enjoy. And what I like to offer is, the touristy stuff, but also local and authentic experiences. I also wanted to combine recommendations of places where either myself I have been and I've experienced, or friends and family are like, yeah, that's the place to go, this is the thing to try. Also wanted to highlight locally owned businesses. I'm really big on that, and if it's Black owned, if it's female owned, even better. So a lot of my restaurants, for example, majority of them are locally owned by Black people and by women, or so, and then just other little things in there. I have a section where you can learn about the local language. So if you use any of the phrases that I've included to anybody who's from Antigua, they'll kind of give you a look like, how do you know that? Also highlighted local foods that if you were to try any/all of these foods and tell an Antiguan or ask an Antiguan, oh, where can I go and get goat water? Again, they'll be like, how do you know about goat water? So that's good. And I tag and show you the places that where you can get those stuff. Also, Antigua is a small island, so a lot of places close early, but there are only a handful of places that are open later. And sometimes it's just somebody who sells on the side of the road. How you're not gonna know that unless you know a local. So essentially, it's just a local's guide to the island, and it gives you these insider tips, of the little things. Where can you get a drink? Again, it's a small island, but you want something to do on the weekend, but not everywhere is going to be open, so you have to know, you have to have your ear to the ground. So this is like your ear to the ground for Antigua. And then the carnival guide is just the carnival version of that. It's like, what event, the 15 events that happen, and maybe 2-3 a day, which ones should I go to? Where do I buy my tickets? Just a bunch of different things that all one can access, all there. Everything is hyperlinked. If you click on it, it's either going to take you to the website, to the Instagram page, or to the Google Maps location, so you will know what to do. So that's why I personally like these guides. Yes, I created them, but still I find that they're a useful resource, and I really hope that people find it valuable for when they go to Antigua. So I just launched it on Saturday, so it's been about 2-3 days, and I decided to do a sale for the month of May. So right now you can get it for $25 US, and then after that it's going to get to $40 US. So definitely grab it now while it's hot. And when you do get it, and if you do come to Antigua, please use it. Oh, and also I have to plug it in that depending on certain things, like if you book certain excursions and whatnot, please mention Global Gal when you do, because it'll help me. I'm partnering with some places to say, if I'll send people your way, and then I get a little bit of commission, so that's going to be beneficial as well. So yeah, that's my guides, and those are my babies, and they're just the beginning. I hope to release for New Zealand, Australia, Ghana, Colombia, and hopefully Asia. I have to figure out how Asia. Maybe I'll do one on Sri Lanka.
Yeah,
Yes, you
I
should.
think you should.
You
Yeah.
should. You should. Okay, the hot seat. Let's look at some things that you have tasted in the Asian markets. What's your favorite food thus far in your Asia tour?
Oh my gosh. What's my favorite food? I don't know. I had some good Indian food. Oh, wait, hold on. I tried egg roti Is it egg roti? I think I tried egg roti for the first time. I did not know there was such a thing as egg roti here in Sri Lanka. Tasted very, very good. I
Egg
really like
roti.
that. Yeah, egg roti. Then I also tried something called kotu, and apparently it wasn't the best version of it that I tried, but I still enjoyed it, which is when they chop up a roti, like we call it the roti skin. When they chop up the roti and then they mix it with rice and stuff, like it's all one meal, kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
In Vietnam, banh mi is solid. Banh mi is really just a baguette with meat and stuff in it, but they got pork, so it's like a pork sandwich essentially. And so I like that. And yeah, I'd have to say egg roti. Egg roti caught me by surprise. Very flavorful.
Nice. Now you got me wanting to get some bus up shot.
Yes, man.
Oh yes, love me some bus up shot. Okay, favorite drink. What's some juices, or is it something that you thought you would
Like,
never really care
try.
for, and you?
Nothing is really standing out to me, to be honest, because again, it's very tropical. So they'll have the pineapple juice, they'll have the mango juice, they'll have that kind of stuff. I did try pomegranate juice though, and that was my first time trying that, and that was interesting. It was
First time,
interesting.
okay.
Yeah, I've tried pomegranate before, but not pomegranate juice. Like I don't know if they had just somebody just squeezing it out and pouring it into a bottle.
Okay.
So that was cool. That was cool to try. To be honest, I'm not big on juices and sodas. I'm more so water.
Water.
Water and alcohol. Trying to be healthy.
Oh, that's healthy. Water and alcohol, man. I love that. That's one of my favorites too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially together. Water and alcohol together.
Coconut water and alcohol. Listen.
Don't knock it till you try it.
Stay hydrated.
So are you a tequila or rum drinker? I'm sure you're a rum drinker.
No, I'm a tequila. Tequila is my best friend. Tequila.
My girl.
And you don't, girl, you don't meet many people who drink tequila just like that. But tequila, I will drink it and I will wake up the next day and I feel fine.
And you're fine. That's why I like it.
Yes, I thought all alcohol you had to drink and feel crappy the next day.
No, you do not.
No.
So are you
I wake up and I still get things done.
Are you a reposado, a nejo, a blanco, or just any anything?
When more of those guides get sold, I could tell you I'll be a Don Julio. But right now I'm a whatever else.
Okay. Well, you need to get to Mexico then and go to some tequila farms.
You know what? I would do that. Mexico was not calling to me again because everybody talks about Mexico. So I'm like, I'm not going to go to Mexico. But I would consider going to Mexico for the tequila. So thank you for that.
Yes. I have a good friend. His name is Guillermo. Not Guillermo. Is it Guillermo? Gilberto. He has a tequila store in Tijuana, like over 100 different tequilas.
Wow.
Sit there and sample all of them. Like
okay. Now you're adding Mexico to my list. Now I can do that.
So I sit there and so many people, even when I come back to this day, I did a little video on him. And he said, man, so many people come here and they say, hey, I saw you on YouTube, and I automatically think about you. I said, I didn't think that video did too well. He said, man, I get at least one person a week coming here looking for some tequila.
That's dope. I love it when that can happen. You know, you're encouraging and supporting the local community.
Yes,
that's awesome.
Yes.
Definitely love that. All right. Well, I'm not going to hold you any longer. I'm 9 minutes over. I told you I was going to be an hour. So I want to honor your time.
Be good. I was going to ask if I can. Tiffany, did you have any more questions about the tour?
Yeah, I'm gonna message you. I'm gonna message you. I did want to know. So, one of the things that I like to ask, because it was my first, for those who haven't done a group trip,
Yes.
In advance, you send out an itinerary, right? You kind of give the details on your link tree for the trip for those who might be interested in. But if you have specific questions about the itinerary, you know, I'm a high anxiety traveler, so I like to know what's around me, not just where I'm going and what I'm doing, but what's around me as far as accommodations. Like, where's the pharmacy? Where's the bank? Where's the ATM? How do I get money? Do I exchange before I go? Or will you be having like a call or a something will be sent out prior if you book it to kind of give those kind of little details to help those who, you know, this is their first, they don't know what to expect. Like, so kind of a what to expect. Will they get something?
Yeah. So I'm going to be starting a group chat before the end of this month with everybody, first of all, so that everybody can start to get to know each other and we work through some of those things. And then at this closer to the time, maybe we'll get on a group call to be able to do that. However, there is a resource that once you sign up and stuff, it will provide you with a lot of this information. Yeah. So it's a document that's downloadable. The itinerary is downloadable. And there's also, so I'm partnering with this tour operator, Trovo Trip, or this group, where if I don't know the questions, and I probably won't, they have people who would be on the ground. So whether it be the guide or the person who's just there dedicated to supporting everybody on the trip, you know, they're going to be there. So they're probably the ones that will be able to answer most of those questions for you. But
yeah, cool.
Between that resource and that, I mean, I've been to Thailand before, so I can offer assistance as well. But between the three of us, it's very well supported in that regard. Yeah.
And most of the people who will be traveling for this, you'll meet there. So that understanding is you don't meet in, like, if you're coming from the States, you won't meet from the States. I want the audience to understand that these people are coming from different parts of the world. So when you actually may not meet the people you're traveling with until you arrive and
until you arrive at the hotel. So when everybody arrives, the first day we have a welcome dinner, and so that's when you'll officially meet everybody. But that's also why I wanted to start the WhatsApp group now. I'm not a fan of WhatsApp groups. I'm tired being in them, but it's important, and I wanted to introduce people to each other so that people can kind of take the initiative and say, oh, I am so and so, maybe from New York or from Atlanta, you know, I'm thinking about flying out on this and this day, and if somebody's interested in joining, what flights are you looking at, you know, so that you can start to meet people and fly out together potentially.
Yeah, and as someone who hadn't done it prior to a group trip and then has done a group trip, I highly recommend if you're booking with Alyssa, you're going to be doing this and you get that, don't be shy. Go in there, introduce yourself, provide a picture, tell them where you're traveling from, and have conversations, interact with that. It makes it so much easier when you're actually meeting travelers in person, rather meeting the host, because you've seen her, you've been watching her on her Instagram, you've been engaging in her content, and now you have an opportunity to kind of engage with her in person and also with the other travelers. It really does help kind of ease, for those, this is a new experience for those veterans, you know, you guys know how to do this, but for those who are new, it really does kind of help ease some of those anxieties or those, you know, insecurities you might have about going somewhere and meeting people that you haven't met before and then traveling with them.
Definitely great encouragement. Like, just use that, introduce yourself, like you said. And I would also like to share, the energy you put out there is the energy you kind of receive. So I feel like I put out a certain energy, and the people that are attracted to my content and that are interested in joining on a trip like this, you know, it's going to be good vibes. It's going to be great people. So everybody's coming with that, you know, good energy in and of themselves. So just think of it as a group trip with some good vibesy, good energy people, and use that as an encouragement to reach out and, you know, say hello or sign up for, you know, it's going to be a great opportunity. And I think once everybody, I want to encourage everybody to be open-minded, use this opportunity and experience to leave what you think you know at the table, and just come with an open mind. And we're going to have a really great time having these experiences and sharing them together. And I love that you went on this group trip. I've never done outside of with my family, I've never done a group trip. So this is going to
Me
be my
either.
first time as well. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of firsts for me.
It's so
So
wonderful. It's so wonderful. It's such
meeting
a wonderful
like-minded
thing.
people, right?
Yeah. It's
Yes,
just you will be surprised. You will surprise yourself, and the group will
yes,
surprise you because you'll
yes,
see
yes, yes,
connections
yes,
being made, right, as you're experiencing things together. And it's really, I mean,
yes,
that's one of the reasons why I'm going to Brazil. So I mean, like you gotta
yes,
you gotta be
yes,
open
yes,
minded
yes.
and enjoy every moment. That's what you really have to do. There will
100%.
be
And I
lots. There will
also,
be lots.
yeah, I want to say too, just as it's open to everybody who, whether male or female, I want to also say, no matter your age, I'm
Yes.
telling y'all, my mother is coming on this trip. Her best friend is coming on this trip. My mother's in her 60s, you know? But I have my sister who's coming on this trip who's in her 30s. It's going to be a mixture of ages. It's going to be a mixture of people from the Caribbean, from the USA, from wherever else that comes. So don't make that stop you, you know? And even if you're gonna connect with somebody no matter their age and stage in life. So definitely I think it's a great opportunity for whether you're a newbie to traveling or you are a veteran and you've wanted to go to Thailand and you love this itinerary. Yeah, everybody on this trip loves the itinerary too. That's why they come in.
So one last question to
No problem.
finalize. When is the last time you can? When's the last point, the cutoff point for booking this trip with you?
So the cutoff point is either when it fills up. So right now there are 11 spots. So that means there are 13 more to go. So either when it fills up or August 23rd. August 23rd, 2024 is when you would have to sign up slash pay everything. So at present, in order for you to secure your booking, we got to know you're serious. So you have to pay 25% upfront,
Yeah.
which is about 500 and something dollars. If you are based in the USA, they have payment plans available for you. Or if you want, you can go on once a month and pay down, pay down, pay down, but you have to have it fully paid off by August 23rd, slash sign up for the trip and everything by August 23rd.
I'm
So
gonna
this,
think about this.
yeah,
I'm,
there's still some time. There's still
I'm
some
thinking.
time left. Think about it. Come through. And then too, I mean, if you can, take as much time as you can off because you're in Asia. So why not just hop over to Vietnam?
Yeah.
Why not just go to Cambodia or something for a couple of days? It don't matter, you know. So yeah,
Yes.
girl, Tiffany, come true. Tiffany, traumatic you too.
I'm thinking about it. You know, my birthday's in December, so I can like extend it my trip to
You
December.
should.
I don't know. I'll think about it. I'll think about it. I'll think about
Think about it. Think about it.
it.
But it is that busy travel weekend, you know? So you want
Yeah.
to secure your flight sooner
Yeah.
rather than later, for sure. But look into it. I'm telling you, right? I have a friend who her mom is gonna come. My friend has two kids right now who are probably under 4, so she can't come, but her mother's gonna come. And she found tickets from Toronto to Bangkok and back for like 877 US dollars, I think. That's
Nice.
round trip. Yeah, round trip to Bangkok. Now, also caveat, we do fly into Bangkok, but if you're leaving immediately after, you have to fly out of Chiang Mai because we're not returning to Bangkok in the trip. So you just have to be aware of that. It might be cheaper for you to buy a return flight to and from Bangkok, but you're gonna have to get yourself. I would recommend you fly from Chiang Mai to Bangkok on a separate ticket. But yeah, we do end in a different city than the one that we arrive.
All right. All right. Well, you know where to reach her if you want more information on the trip. Go to
Mm-hmm.
her Instagram and link tree in the bio. But again, Alyssa, we appreciate you so much for joining
Yeah.
us again. You know, you're a fan favorite, you know, of Matic Mondays. So people look out for the trip, her excursions, her videos, her content. She is going places.
Yes, she is. Good
Yes.
job, Lisa. Keep it up.
Thank you both so much. It's really nice to for us to be talking a year later and to see I'm in a new
Yeah.
country, I'm doing different things. So it's
Yes.
encouraging and having two like real supporters. Y'all are very encouraging. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We was here when you was shooting in the gym as the old Kobe.
Yes. Still
In the
practicing.
beginning, you was in the beginning before you was just, you
doing
just
the tours. Yeah,
doing the tours.
Yeah,
And
next time you come back, you'll have 100,000 followers, and you've done 3 or 4 trips, and we need to try to get. I don't know when I'll have time.
Sneak it.
I'll always make time for y'all. I'll always make time for y'all.
Good.
If I ever don't, screenshot that and be like, don't forget you said this.
Right. And can you just do us one favor in the next year? Stay away from street side barbers, please.
Barbers?
Yes. No butts. Let's just
Yes.
do that. Do me that one favor.
Let us know when you find a good barber. Definitely put it on your stories.
I have to go digging for that, and that is they're there because they're Black communities. I didn't even talk about that, y'all. There are Black communities everywhere. Just go on Facebook. Black community in Hanoi, Black community in Thailand. I'm in this group chat for Chiang Mai. It's the Afro-Caribbean thing. They have events. They have also stuff. Black in Bali is huge. They got an Instagram page.
Black in Bali is a big one.
Yeah. So Black people are out here, and you can get your hair braided. You can get your barber. I don't know how much extra is going to cost you, but so.
As long as it's not free. As long as it's not free. That's the kicker.
Listen, if there was a Black man sitting in that chair, I would have gone to him.
Right. All right, Alyssa, thank you so much.
We
appreciate
you
y'all
so very, very much.
And we're going.
Bye, everybody watching.
Good night.
Hopefully somebody will join me. When y'all sign up, be like, I saw you on the Matic Monday show, and I said I wanted to join. And you and Tiffany, whosoever and Tiffany are coming.
Yeah, who going with me? Some of you know. Some of you know. No, I'm not going with you. But the rest of you, come on.
Yeah, you know who want to go with you. But we go. All right. Take care. Bye.
Bye, y'all.
BS3 Network. Changing the way you watch TV.